Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Got it, buddy.
We're back. Love is Blind. This is season 7, week 2. This is episode 7, 8, and 9. Full spoiler review here. Make sure you like to subscribe to here and on TikTok so you get all of our Love is Blind coverage. Whew, Brian, this week was spicy. This week was, we're never a root for people breaking up and heartbreak, but man, did a lot more happen this week than happened last week. A lot of lying, a lot of deceiving. Two couples called it quits before we even got to week 3. So the idea that we said that these couples really didn't have a long shelf life, we were dead on. Right before we jump into the main topic, Brian, what was just your overall reaction?
It's funny. It's because going back and looking at like all the seasons we watched. Like I was like, man, maybe week one just wasn't that good. But I think this week definitely brought it a lot more. Like we're dealing with people that are actually in the game, and just some of the stuff is just crazy. And it's just a theme that people don't like condoms on this. The That must be a box you check on the application. Is if you don't like contraception, you shouldn't be on here.
Yeah, we'll get to Ramses and Marissa. They're probably third on our list of egregious measures, but I will preview the fact that I don't really like that guy. I'm
No,
just gonna say it right now. I didn't like him
no,
last week. Now I really don't like him, and I'm not some bleeding heart military supporter either. So let's not even
right.
get to his comments if you don't get that far. All right, but we can't skip anything here. If you watch on the reality, guys, we're big on not lying to your kids about your kids. Just like getting kids involved in these shows in general. And man, I guess Tyler could try to use that as his shitty excuse to not mention that he has 3 children. And now he's still saying they're sperm kids, but we've seen, and we don't really go into spoilers but a lot, but like we've seen the posts, like he's involved in these kids' lives. So like, yeah, ultimate scumbag move, and no shit, you're gonna get dumped by Ashley, man. Like that, like, non-starter.
Do you think they're actually dumped?
If she sticks around more than 15 minutes next week, she gets what she deserves.
So is that one of the ones you said like two people are done? Is that what you're
Yeah,
implying?
I consider them done. I'm sorry.
I don't think they're done. I just don't. I don't know why I don't. I think that cliffhanger because I don't know. Love was Blind cliffhangers aren't very good. They kind of leave us desiring more. I think.
Cliffhangers are shows when you have one thing a week, not when we just saw
Mhm.
4 hours of content and you leave us in the middle of a conversation where we're not rooting for it to, like, we only want it to go one way. It's like,
Right.
don't just give us what we need here. Like, it's fine. Let's go into next week with who's left. You could adjust your editing and just focus on the couples that are, I don't need to spend any time with them next week. I really don't. The guy is a scumbag because the truth he's telling the truth she's telling her right now isn't even the full truth. We know that now as viewers, and like it's not really how we always where we want to be, but the news is out there. Like you don't have Christmas pictures with your sperm donor kids.
Yeah. Two things about this that kind of annoy me is like one. Remember, this is one I was like, if something, this is the couple I liked.
Yeah,
If
you
something
did.
happens, I'm gonna be very disappointed. So I am disappointed, but I'm really annoyed that these constantly on the show is like the juice is like they have to re-talk about a conversation that they didn't get on camera. That's probably what annoys me most about this like debacle is it wasn't on camera. How are they keep missing these moments? This is the
I
second time this season.
My only guess, man, is that they're just having these conversations super late at night once the crew
Pillow
leaves
talk.
the bedroom. And then, I mean, I'm sure if I'm a cameraman, I'm like, I've been standing here with a
Yeah.
sound boom for 14 hours. You did nothing all day. And now I got to do this again. Like, well, come on, man. Like, help me out here.
Yeah, and I also wonder if maybe these conversations are purposely being had off camera because they know they're not going to look the greatest. And I wonder if that's
There have been, yeah, I mean, there's been some things happening in these episodes off camera that I really want to see. And I would love for someone to bring that up at a reunion, but it's not.
no. That's what just kind of bugs me about this is like I think it's something that's worth talking about. But again, we're reacting to a conversation about a conversation. So it just kind of
True.
stinks.
I want to see the tone. I want to see people's body language. Who was
Yeah,
yelling
right.
at who
Right.
was pursuing, who was not letting it go, and they said, "Hey, I need some space," and who wasn't giving the space, right? Like all these things, like when you're in an actual marriage, you need to learn.
Yeah.
And these people don't seem interested in that. Um,
No.
Someone else though who is interested in nothing but just getting it off is Newly Black Steven. Newly Black Steven is a menace. Newly Black Steven was already talking about how he knew girls were going to be hitting him up on social media when they saw him on Love is Blind. Then Monica catches his text where he was like flirting with the girl from the sleep study. Like he was gonna hook up with the sleep study girl. Like that guy's a deviant.
I thought the way that they were talking about it, I thought they were just he was just talking to a girl at the sleep study,
And then texting her about wanting to
but like
do
fed
dirty
it like
things.
I guess talking about what he wants to do to her. So I wonder if this is somebody
He's
from
with this
Sleep
dude, the
Study.
dog.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. And it's funny because I posted the clip of what you just said where he's like talking about like home
Yeah.
records, like sucking on his thing. And I was having a live conversation with somebody on a comment section. I was like, oh my God, it gets worse. And he's like, oh no. And I'm like, it gets worse than that. It doubled down on worse with like what this guy was doing because he had a line later where he's like, well, I just do things, I do the right thing so I can get some action later. I was like, oh my God, man, what do you
I
say?
mean, he was going for the booty too. Like apparently aggressively multiple slips. Like this guy needs to cool his
Yeah,
jets
he's
a
a
little.
dog. He's definitely a dog. And oh man, he's gonna get the reunion is gonna be tough for him. It's
Needs to
gonna
be
be really
tough for
tough.
him. His only saving grace is the dude's like an electrician. Like he's gonna like go back to work and all the dudes are gonna be like, ah, he's not going back. He doesn't have a corporate job. He just got fired from because of that. I mean, a lot basically if anyone else on that show had said those things, they probably may lose their job.
Right, and I think something we completely like I think had brain farts on last week is like this is DC and they're going to talk about politics because remember last week we are like why are they talking about politics with us? I'm like there's so many comments like guys it's DC and it's like you're right like that was dumb.
I get it's DC, and you know what? If I'm hoping that like maybe it's like all of them are talking politics, so maybe they just kind of set that to be
They
like
probably are.
Ramses and Marissa's thing. Like he's got the most hard line take, so I guess that's like why we're gonna go with that. I get it. I think frankly, you can go back to last week's review. I think I was just annoyed at the overall quality of the first
No,
week.
for sure because like
So
we wanted so much more and I just think it was just kind of okay and like I didn't realize a lot of them have so many government jobs too. Like we didn't really find out. Like they had like these base level sentences, but then it's like, oh, by the way, like Tim's like, I'm a contractor for the government. I don't remember his thing saying I'm a contractor for the government. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we didn't say these things, so like obviously that's not going to run in our head. But again, it was six
Thank
hours.
God for. Can we just say real quick before we go to another bad couple? Thank God for Tim. Thank God there's like one decent dude on this
I
season.
liked him. Yeah, I'm really surprised he's sticking around after another big off screen moment we didn't get to see. Like
Unreal. The king and queen of off screen. What is she saying to him off screen?
yeah, I don't know, but
I'm almost like I don't want to make things up, but it's like the vibe when you hear shit like that. To me, it's like they're getting like lit up and having like a drunk argument or something. Like I don't know, right? Like
to me it sounded like she was calling him something that he probably doesn't want to call in the blend there.
he's got a cooler jets, man. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out the reunion or in the news here that he's like some secret a-hole or something or some abuser or something. But like right
Hope
now,
not, man. I don't want to be disappointed by anybody else. It's like the worst part about it.
this is the part about the show. I think I believe in love, and then it gets ripped away from
I
me.
know, man. Jeez.
Let's talk about Ramses and Marissa. I like look, man. I bet T is not loving this dude, and it's not even really because of his opinions, but like you're just dogging your partner about everything. Like she spent her whole life in the military. You're basically saying you're evil in the military. You sniff towards the military. You're talk about it ever again. I'm done with you. All of his friends are telling him he's being an asshole, and he's still sticking to it. Then he's got to meet like his the mom, and the mom's like spitting truths and like, hey, like you're gonna sign a prenup. You seem like a hippie kind of, and like you hate the
Yeah.
world and everything, and like you do seem like a moocher, and you got a lot of hard opinions, including telling her what she should do about her birth control. Like, what a wacko! Grow up, dude. Use a condom.
It's crazy. Yeah. Again, I don't know what it is with the show where these guys are like, well, the sex isn't good without a condom. It's like, okay, man, like, do you want to have a kid?
It's
Yeah.
like literally the vibe I get. We can't get. It don't feel right,
It,
man. It's like,
yeah,
shut
because
up, dude.
you mentioned he doubled down. I feel like he like quadrupled down when she was like, well, look, it's my body. I'm not going to take the birth control. We'll suffer the consequences. Like, well, I mean, as long as the sex feels good, I don't care what happens afterwards. It's like, yo, dude,
That
wow. Just crazy to me. Like, I don't
it
know.
made me feel good about my prediction last week about them not being solid.
Yeah, I don't think we were not
She's
feeling.
delusional a
I
little
don't
bit.
like honestly, dude. I don't like either of these people. I hate the way that they converse with each other.
I don't like that she has to bring again. I'm sorry, I'll mention it. If you want to call it politics, you want to call it like society, new societal norms. like I don't need to hear how much you hate like white guys every episode. I don't need to hear that like you'd let anyone but a cis white male marry. Everything comes into like everything is like she hates men. Like, and you
Yeah,
can have that, that's your experience, and here's my disclaimer, that's your experience, blah blah blah. But like it's just enough. Like they're just meeting each other with just negativity, I feel like.
yeah. I mean, this is the hardest no for me after Stephen and Monica, right? Hardest no. Like, there's no way they're gonna make it
They this dude's an asshole.
because
Like,
the preview looks like they're gonna have a conversation again about the condoms.
well, you listen, I thought about it, and maybe like I need to understand that you really hate condoms, and so I'll go on this really invasive birth control. Like I will throw my I didn't watch it with my wife. But I know when she gets to that point, she's gonna be like, and that should be like what most women should be thinking, unless you're just like a
Yeah, my wife will get to that episode probably in 2 weeks, but then we can talk about it. But yeah, it's because I feel like we had the same conversation last 1 or 2 seasons ago with the one guy. They're still together, so good for them. But yeah, it just doesn't. I don't think it's just the optics doesn't look good at all. Like just quadrupling down on just saying like, yeah, well, you know what, like I want it to feel good for me. I don't really care how you feel.
yeah, man, liars and cheaters and condoms. It's like it,
Liars, cheaters, and latex.
I like that. There you go. Perfect. There's the title.
A little more politically correct.
Yeah, I was thinking
We'll
that.
get
And I'm like,
flagged for that.
we're gonna get 7 views on the video when it says condom
Yeah,
in
right.
the
Yeah.
title. But like, the men really let us down this week, Brian. They really,
Right,
really
because
let us down this week.
like I mean, I was gonna say my boy Nick D, but he's not my boy. Like the guy's only boiled pasta once in his life. Like, come on, dude. Like, what is this?
God,
What
yeah.
do I fill the water like halfway? What do I like heat it up
I
on
I
medium?
do think she's tough on him, but I do believe, and like, look, I'll even admit I've had conversations like that in my own marriage where it's like, you know what? Maybe I just need to take my phone out and
Yeah, Google it. Yeah,
Google the question instead of asking a really dumb question that you probably should know the answer to, right? Like, don't give yourself away, bud. Because, like, look, like if you could just play it right, like her parents are point blank saying that she's being
she
miserable,
needs to
and like,
chill. Yeah.
but she's
What do you
not gonna
think?
chill.
No. What did you think of the bill? Like the bill stuff. Like I understand paying your own bills, but if your family's gonna pay your like she does like I mean, being on a phone plan with your family is the smartest move you can make.
I don't like the shaming of, and listen, that's what some people's situations are, man. Like some people, I lived in my parents' house in my 20s. That you guess what? We were on the same cell phone bill. Now, guess what? They're on my cell phone
Yeah, I
bill.
mean, being on a solo cell phone plan is
It's
dumb.
like, yeah, like they use like until I switched, they were like on my Comcast. You know what I mean? Like
I
that type
hate
of shit.
that.
Like so, like it's that it's the it's not people like this, but it is like a hard knock poverty mentality to have to like shame anyone that didn't have to grind as hard as you
Yeah.
or doesn't have to
Mm,
do as much as you. It's like it's not that dude's fault. His family's really nice. Like they just are a nice, small knit, loving
yeah.
family. There's not shaming him for not having his like career in order yet, or maybe having a failure of it. Like that's what happens sometimes. And like that's what's tough about this show, though, right? Because those two would never date. They
Yeah,
would
right.
never even be friends in high school. They would just not. It wouldn't say they'd hate
Cross.
each other, but it just would never. He would
Right.
never. It
I
just
agree.
wouldn't happen that way. You wouldn't have to
Mm,
worry about the judgment, right? And that's
mm.
what's you wouldn't have to worry about your husband trying to send nudes to girls from sleep studies. Like, this is like the
Yeah.
thing you wouldn't have to, you wouldn't be dating a guy with 3 kids and you wouldn't know
Yeah.
about it, be able to date for 3 weeks without having to find out. And
I
he
know.
only brought it up again, the circle and him. He only brought it up because she's gonna find out there's more. He's just trying to soften the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just an idiot.
So the only couple I think like was okay with me was Garrett and Taylor.
This dude's gonna like listen. I mean, I appreciate him. Like, I'm moving. I am moving from You're moving to San Diego. She's not asking you to move to Wisconsin either. So he's leaving Fredericksburg for San Diego. Like, all right, real
Right.
tough. As a physicist, I think he would like have a pretty good opportunity for things. First of all, everything's remote anyway, but like California's got a lot of shit. Like, I feel like that's not a horrible move for him.
I think that storyline is like they're probably the safe one. So like what else is their storyline? That's
Well,
like
their preview didn't seem very safe though. The preview seemed like it was a little shaky possibly, which I was confused by. I think it's a red herring, but like, you know, I
Oh, when they get to the mixer.
Yeah, they're so practical that
Yeah,
like they could be one of those couples that's like, like she says no and he's like, completely understand. I was thinking the same thing, and they just like
yeah.
leave and shake hands like it was a business deal. But like I did want to see some of these. I did want to see some of these go a little further, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of blood spilt this week and a lot of drama. There's gonna be a ton of things to talk about, like on TikTok. There's a lot of individual topics that we'll make videos about, and we'll just kind of give our stream of consciousness on. But we want to hear from you guys. Like, what was your biggest surprise? What couples do you think will make it? Do you kind of agree with the vibes we have that all the guys kind of suck right now outside of our boy Tim? So, and I like Garrett. He's fine.
Yeah, Garrett's a,
Garrett's. I just kind of forget about Garrett because he's just like,
so I mean, it's just like the most normal couple to me currently.
yeah, he's like his biggest problem is like, should I sell some of the businesses I'm in? It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm not worried about you, bud. You're gonna be fine. You're a handsome physicist. Like,
Right.
what is that? Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, check out our coverage on TikTok. Check out all of our other social medias. We're covering a bunch of other shows, including The Golden Bachelorette. We're covering Survivor, 90 Day Fiance, Love and Hip Hop, Below Deck, Sailing Yacht. Traders season 2 premieres tonight. Shout out to E for shooting us a bunch of the
House of
promo.
Villains. House of Villains.
What did I say?
Traitors. I
Shout out
wish.
to E for House of Villains.
I
It's the
wish.
Traders. That's
Yeah.
but yeah, no, still shout out for that.
Yeah,
We appreciate it. We're excited. We'll definitely be watching that tonight. So
for sure.
we're looking forward to it. Look, can't wait to see New York. Can't wait to clip
Yeah,
the shit out of New York this
right.
week.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we need to clip her in case they get rid of her young fast.
Yeah, I know.
Check everything out at the reality guys. Thank you so much for watching. But until next time, for Brian and myself, peace.